He built his business with his bare hands after 38 years of hard labor, only to watch it fall apart overnight, not because of competition, not because of failure, but because of one decision made in the White House. Tariffs meant to protect American companies are now destroying them, forcing honest, hard-working people to flee their homes, shut down their dreams, and face bankruptcy. This is a story of how President Trump's unpredictable trade war crushed American businesses, and how hundreds like Tim Fulton are now saying, everything is stuck. Everything is stuck. U.S. companies say buyers disappeared overnight due to Trump policy. Tim Fulton spent nearly 4 decades working as a ramp agent at airports, one of those unsung heroes who load and unload luggage in all kinds of weather. After 38 years, he decided to chase the American dream and start his own business. He launched Ramper Innovations, a company based in Alaska that builds fold-up conveyor belts for airports. Business was good. Orders were flowing in. Tim believed he had finally made it. Then came the tariffs. In what many are calling a self-inflicted economic crisis, President Donald Trump launched a trade war by slapping massive tariffs on imports from countries like China, Mexico, and Canada. Tim was blindsided. He said he was floored by how high the tariffs were and by how unpredictably they were applied. Some materials he depended on, like motorized rollers from Japan, weren't even available in the U.S. But that didn't matter. Tariffs hit them anyway. Even though Tim made his products in America and bought from American suppliers as much as possible, there was no escaping the ripple effect. Most of his U.S. suppliers relied on imports for some components. As a result, his costs soared. To stay afloat, Tim had no choice but to raise his prices by 17%. But that move scared off his customers. They didn't just object to the higher price. They were afraid the price might go up again next week, depending on the president's mood. What happened next was heartbreaking. A healthy stream of buyers disappeared almost overnight. Investors, too, pulled away. No one wanted to put money into a company trapped under what they saw as unpredictable and arbitrary policy decisions. Tim was forced to rent out his home in Alaska and move to Brazil, where living was cheaper. He's now consulting with a bankruptcy lawyer. The business he built with hope and hard work is on the edge of collapse. And Tim's not alone. Across America, hundreds of small business owners are telling similar stories. Christina Anisimova, the owner of Sino Import USA in North Carolina, manages supply chains for companies that depend on Chinese factories. She says 1/3 of her customers have suspended their orders. Some of the unlucky ones already have products on ships headed to the U.S., and those shipments are about to get hit with double tariffs at the port. The cost will crush them. Everything is stuck, and no one knows what to do, Christina said. This trade war was meant to protect American businesses. But in reality, it's punishing the very people it was supposed to help. Small manufacturers, entrepreneurs, and middle-class dreamers are watching their businesses fall apart because of sudden economic policy swings they have no control over. They followed the rules. They invested in American-made products. But none of that mattered. Now, they're left with empty order books, rising debts, and hard decisions. The real tragedy here isn't just economic. It's personal. It's about human beings who believed in their work, only to be crushed by a system they thought was on their side. How many more Tim Fultons are out there? And how many will survive the storm? Full-blown meltdown. Trump doubles down amid chaos. The political landscape in America has often been intense, but lately it's been nothing short of chaotic. President Donald Trump, known for his defiant style and unshakable confidence, has once again found himself at the center of a growing storm. His recent actions, from aggressive tariff policies to openly defying court orders related to deportations, have raised alarm bells across the nation. Yet, in classic Trump fashion, he remains completely unfazed by the criticism. In a powerful article published by the Washington Post, columnist Dana Milbank captured the current mood perfectly. Trump continues to trump, he wrote. Despite mounting backlash, the president has doubled down on his controversial positions, showing no signs of backing off. One striking moment unfolded when Trump posted a photo from the Oval Office, proudly holding an image that claimed to show the knuckles of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a deportee, marked with MES 13 tattoos. To many, it was a shocking image. But upon closer inspection, the so-called evidence was laughably photoshopped, as clumsy as the infamous weather map Trump once edited with Sharpie. The symbolism was clear. Facts mattered little compared to the image Trump wanted to project. Meanwhile, cracks within Trump's own administration have started to show. John Oliot, a top aide to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, recently resigned and didn't hold back. In a scathing report for Politico, Oliot described the Pentagon as a house in total disarray. He spoke of a full-blown meltdown, a near collapse inside the Pentagon's top ranks, an endless drama that has shifted focus away from America's true military missions. The chaos didn't end there. In the controversial deportation of Abrego Garcia, Trump's administration blamed an administrative error. Despite a court order protecting Garcia from removal, he was forcibly deported to El Salvador. Now, scrambling to justify the act, officials lean on the testimony of a disgraced police officer, claiming Garcia was an active MS-13 member in upstate New York, a place where Garcia had never even lived. This attempt to retroactively justify a clear legal violation left many Americans disillusioned and angry. Yet, through all of it, Trump continued to charge forward, reshaping reality to fit his narrative, ignoring court rulings, and dismissing every criticism as noise. Milbank's words summed it up best. America has grown numb to the president's behavior. The amateurish moves, the reckless actions, the chaotic leadership. It's all become part of daily life. Even when Trump rolled out reciprocal tariffs, they absurdly targeted places like penguin-inhabited Antarctic outposts, a move so bizarre it would be laughable if it weren't real. As the country watches this full-blown meltdown unfold, one thing is clear. Trump has no intention of slowing down. The backlash only seems to fuel him further. And for better or worse, Trump will continue to be Trump, leaving the nation and the world bracing for whatever comes next. 9 landscaping ideas that make your house look more expensive. When you think of luxury, you might picture grand interiors or designer furniture. But true elegance actually begins long before you step to the front door. It begins in your garden. A carefully designed landscape not only boosts your home's curb appeal, but also creates a peaceful, welcoming retreat where you can relax and recharge. A luxurious landscape isn't just about filling your yard with colorful flowers or rare plants. It's about careful planning and thoughtful design. Often, the small details, the ones you may not notice at first glance, are what bring everything together into a beautiful, cohesive space. These little touches are what make a garden feel polished, expensive, and effortlessly stylish. Christian Tame, a professional landscape designer from Charleston, advises taking a step back and examining your yard with fresh eyes, especially if you've lived there for a long time. Over time, some trees and shrubs may have matured beautifully, while others may need updating. It's not about tearing everything out. It's about refreshing your space thoughtfully to give it new and vibrant life. Choosing the right plants is another key element. Jody Cook, a landscape designer based in Orange County, California, emphasizes the importance of a curated plant palette. It's not just about picking your favorite flowers. It's about choosing plants that suit your space, your climate, and your lifestyle. Letting plants grow naturally, rather than constantly trimming them into unnatural shapes, creates a more relaxed, luxurious look that feels both intentional and sustainable. Another secret to an expensive-looking landscape is restraint. Kat Cervoni, founder of Staghorn NYC, reminds us that thoughtful design is not about filling every inch of space. Sometimes, less truly is more. Every element, whether it a path, a fountain, or a simple flower bed, should have a purpose and create a sense of wow, without overwhelming the senses. Color plays a huge role, too. A carefully selected color palette brings sophistication to your garden. Soft whites, deep greens, muted blues. These colors create harmony and a calming effect. A jumbled mix of bright colors can feel chaotic, but a refined palette always feels intentional and polished. Of course, even the most beautifully designed gardens require care. Overgrown shrubs, wilted flowers, or cluttered patios can quickly make a landscape feel neglected. Regular maintenance, trimming, watering, and tidying up is one of the simplest ways to keep your yard looking fresh, inviting, and luxurious without major renovations. Creating 1 or 2 standout focal points can also elevate your garden. Whether it's a charming fountain, a rustic fire pit, or a beautifully crafted stone wall, a strong visual anchor draws the eye and makes your landscape feel carefully planned and truly special. The materials you choose also play an important role. Natural stone paths, warm wooden structures, and crushed gravel patios age beautifully and bring an organic, expensive feel to your space. These elements connect your garden to the natural world in a way that feels timeless and enduring. Finally, don't underestimate the power of lighting. Thoughtful, soft outdoor lighting can transform your garden into a magical oasis at night. It highlights the beauty of your plants, creates cozy gathering spaces, and adds a touch of mystery and romance to your outdoor living areas. In the end, making your landscape look expensive isn't about how much you spend. It's about the thought and care you put into the design. With careful choices, a restrained hand, and regular love and maintenance, you can create a garden that feels like a luxurious retreat, and one that welcomes you home every single day.